Hey there, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Ethan. This is the weird part of the internet where I sit in front of this tree in my backyard and I talk about things that I want to talk about. Today is going to be a pretty short video. I just wanted to touch on a little piece of kit that I picked up that I thought I'd really like, but didn't end up really loving it. And that is this little Eyecup piece. For the Fuji XPRO 3. As you know, probably if you've seen any of my other videos on here, I shoot with a Fuji XPRO 3 as my main camera these days. And a little bit of backstory, I guess. I have used Eyecups like this in the past, fairly frequently. In fact, I like longer Eyecups because they help to block out the sun and allow me to see things a little bit better. And especially with sort of the advent of mirrorless cameras that have electronic viewfinders, that's something that I find myself really needing in a lot of situations where I'm outside in bright light. It's really hard to see the viewfinders a lot of the times. And sometimes they can also help if you're a glasses user like me. The glasses, especially these ones with the clear frames, they actually tend to light up with the sun and make it even harder to see. I know I just need to get different glasses, but it is what it is. So this little viewfinder cup, it slides in through the hot shoe mount here, and then slides into place, and then you have this bigger viewfinder cup. A couple of things that I thought were going to be weird about it were that the screen was going to hit when I was pulling it down, and as it turns out, the screen does not hit when you pull it down. So that's great. That was my initial concern, the initial thing that I saw. But that didn't happen. And then the next thing, we'll get into in a second why this didn't end up working out for me. But in general, I think it fits the camera very well. It's not super snug, so you can take it on and off fairly easily, but it fits all the curves and the edges of the camera very nicely. It doesn't interfere with the opening and closing of the screen like I talked about, and it can help block out light in some situations. As I was talking about with the EVF, a lot of the times I can't see the EVF very well. In this situation, I mean, we're a little bit shaded here, but it can be a little bit more difficult to see that EVF. Now with the OVF, not so much of an issue, but mostly I bought this for using the EVF in the sun. And it does block out the light. It does its job in that regard. Now on to the part that is not so great about this. It does not allow you to see the entirety of the EVF or the OVF. If it's something that you don't want to swap in and out, or if it's something that you just want to try, it is, for me anyway, almost unusable. If you're using a lens wider than about a 28mm equivalent, I guess 35mm equivalent even, that's giving you the 50mm frame lines, you're not going to really be able to see the frame lines, and you definitely won't be able to see all the information around. That's what I ran into with this. As you can see, the lens that I use the most of the time is this 23mm f1.4. I cannot see the edges of the frame lines with or without my glasses. If I'm wearing contacts, same deal. And that's mashing my eye, you know, all the way into the Eyecup. It just doesn't work. And something that I wasn't expecting is that it's even worse if you're wearing glasses. And I think the reason for that is that Fuji designed this camera with a fairly short eye relief, so that, I don't know, for some reason or another, but the diopter adjustments and the magnification and everything of the viewfinder, it looks really nice, but you have to be very close to the camera. And I didn't really want to scratch up my glasses lenses, so I figured maybe that would be really great for this. But it keeps you a little too far back to be able to see the entirety of the image, even though, as you can probably see, it doesn't actually block any of the any of the viewfinder components there. It just puts your eye too far back from where it needs to be able to see the entirety of the image. Now, this isn't necessarily a total deal breaker, and if it wasn't, you know, if it was something that I thought I'd get more use out of, then I might hang on to it. For that occasion, you know, I'll slip it in my camera bag. It's not that big, but it does allow you to see like a focus point maybe, but if you're swapping it in and out all the time, it's just going to be a pain in the butt. It's not super well made. It is just plastic, so the likelihood that you're going to break it is probably fairly high if you're moving it on and off of the camera all the time. So verdict in this short little video for you. I don't think I can recommend it. This is a product that I haven't seen in very many reviews, if any, on, and maybe that's for good reason, but if you're looking into this and you stumble across this video, just beware. This does not work most of the time, probably for most people. If you're using the camera in really bright sunlight and you absolutely need to have it to manually focus or do something, it could be worth it to you, but I find that it's just too hard to see the EVF or the OVF, and unless you're willing to sacrifice total visibility of your EVF or your OVF, your image that you're trying to look at, I can't recommend it. So that's the end of that video. Super short, to the point. As always, I will never ask for your likes or subscriptions, but the buttons are there, and it would mean a lot to me if you'd support me. So until next time, have a good one.